The ZTE Tempo X is a Boost mobile phone with 1 gig of RAM and 8 gigabytes of ROM with about like 6 gigs usable, but most of it's taken up by the apps that are already on here. So I just want to talk about what the external device looks like. So you have your 5-inch TFT panel, which to me is 480p and it does not look good at all. But for what it's worth right now, this device is running sort of fast enough. And it's just a TFT panel, it's bad. You have a 2 megapixel front camera, an 8 megapixel rear camera, which is all really bad. And then you have your earpiece and all that stuff over here. And then along with that, you have a headphone jack and a micro USB port with a mic. You have a textured power button, volume up and down, noise canceling mic over here, and nothing else. And then you have a cool textured design back, which has a weird feel to it. It feels cheap in my opinion. You have your speaker grill, soft, but it's better than most. And then you have, to pull this off, a removable battery, 2200 mAh, an SD card up to 32 gigs, and your built-in that you can take out the SIM card slot. And this door just slammed because of the wind. Now you have to tap and hold to open it up. It's running Android 7.1.1. And if you go here, all the way down, about 7.1.1, right over here. Now, that's really just that. So it has a Snapdragon 210 inside of it. And that's just what the chipset's running, so expect the performance to go slow and lag. And when I first got it, I let it sit for like 5 minutes just to load everything up, and it was still slow. So during the performance though, I was not able to put it through some tests I do with other phones because I couldn't install the apps I wanted. Because if you go right here to the settings, scroll down to storage, right there, 6.38 gigabytes used. Most of it's a system memory too. So ridiculous. So I wasn't able to install most of the apps, so I wasn't able to put it through its full tests. And opening up the apps was slow in the beginning, so opening this up, you can't have more than one app open either. So I open up the camera. That was slow. Now, also, when I first opened this up, I let it sit because I wanted to let everything go through. Then I was going to benchmark it. I tried benchmarking it the first time. If you haven't seen my review yet, my initial review, it crashed. I wasn't able to benchmark it at all because it just didn't work. No other phone I ever reviewed crashed like that. Sometimes it may have gone a little slow, but it never crashed. And unlocking the phone is slower. Look at this. I'm unlocking it. That was okay, but look. 3, 2, 1. Now, it also doesn't have a fingerprint sensor. And opening up the dialer and trying to make a call does seem to be a little bit slower. So if I go 11111111, it does seem to be a little bit slower if I go like this again. Look at that. Look how slow that is to start making even any call. That was slow, and that was also slow. And opening the camera, snapping a picture is slower, so if the subject does move, the picture is going to be blurry, so you have to stand there for a little bit longer. So that is one thing you have to be careful about when you purchase this phone. So you're not going to want to get it for that. You're going to want to get it just for calling and texting people. And I ran a benchmark score beforehand out of my own convenience because, I didn't want anything to happen. So here's my history. There's my October 28th. 384 as a single score, and 1019 as a multi-core score. Which means if you look over here, the Nexus 1+1 with 2 gigs of RAM, that's their score, 2465. That's even the Nexus 5, and that was the oldest one of all the 2 gig of RAM phones, and that has a better score. And that's really it. So I'm just going to open up some stock apps because, I mean, there's not much more to say about this. So I'm going to open up the dialer, 321, click. 321, click. 321, click. 321, click. Now I gotta open up the clock app, so let me find it right here. 321, click. And the Play Store, 321, click. Now, these were just opened up, so let's just go back to the beginning, to the phone. Has to refresh itself. But it opens up to the same spot. Messages. That refreshed itself. Camera. That sort of refreshed itself. Clock didn't refresh itself. Play Store didn't refresh itself. So some of the apps had to refresh itself, and those are stock apps. Like, seriously. Those were stock apps. Now, the other thing is Google Assistant. I have it updated to the newest Google thing. Just Google on tap, where it just shows what's on screen and stuff. So you're not getting that Google Assistant completely, where you can talk to it. So that's the other thing. So now for the screen itself, that is a topic that is a make it or break it for a phone. Something that would make me not want to purchase a phone because of. Because I like a screen where I'm able to watch YouTube videos on, or I'm able to take pictures and not have to worry about having to go onto a computer later or put them on another phone. And if you don't have another phone, definitely a computer later on to see if the picture came out to the color you wanted it. You want to be able to see the color enough. Like, you don't want a screen that looks like washed out and stuff, so you want to be able to see color well. Now, it is its TFT, which is just basically the lower end LCD panels. And it is 480p, which the color's washed out. Some 480p panels I've seen look okay, just they're not the best, and I wouldn't recommend them either, but they're better than this one. And I really wouldn't want to watch a YouTube video on this because this is just the worst one out of them all. I really don't recommend this thing at all for the screen. If you don't care about the screen, then go ahead. Because for battery-wise, for me, this is another make it or break it. But since it has Android 7.1.1, the battery is more optimized in the thing. So it lasts me a while. I've had this thing on standby for 3 days, 45%, getting emails, as you can see, YouTube notifications, and stuff. And 4 days ago, I had a break, so I turned it off for a tiny bit. But 1 day, 6 hours left, according to the way that it's been used. Now, since it also has 1 gigabyte of RAM, it's not going to need a lot of battery to use. I've only used it for 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 56 seconds of screen on time. But if you look, 396 mAh, that's less than other phones for sure. And I made some calls, about 20 minutes each, 3 calls. And the battery for me was perfectly fine. The battery was still up there, really high. And then I watched 3 YouTube videos during that time, streamed off Wi-Fi, and they all went through. It went into power saving mode, and it did make the battery last longer. Like, when after the whole day was over, I got a full day of usage out of this thing. It was at 15% by 11 o'clock at night after I woke up at 5 a.m. And the battery lasted me the full amount of time that there was. So I didn't have to worry about this battery over here, which is a 2200 mAh battery. Why do I keep on doing that? It is, as you can see, a 2200 mAh battery. This battery lasted me the whole day. When it got to 15% at 11 o'clock at night, I'm like, I'll plug it in before I go to sleep. I started using it a little bit, and it just worked. The battery stayed at 15% for a while, and then just went down slowly and slowly. The battery works on this thing really well. So that's a plus I would definitely give this phone, is the battery. Now, if you are looking for a phone that is good enough for making calls and text, and playing games and stuff, then definitely do not get this phone. I think it is a waste of money for some things, but of course you can install maybe 1 game maker, it calls and send text, but this phone is still a waste in other ways. For about $20 more, you can get yourself the ZTE Max XL. The phone has way better specs for $20 more. It has like 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of space, 1080p screen, much bigger, not washed out at all. And I think it is worth spending extra money. I did a full review on that phone, so if you want to check it out, we'll leave the link down below for you to check out. I hope you did enjoy this review. If you did, please hit that subscribe button if it is red, and make sure to hit that bell icon so you're notified of future videos. Make sure to comment down below on your thoughts of the phone, and also make sure to hit the like button and enjoy the rest of your day.